Hey everybody, Travelin' Trav here, Travelin' Trav's Trans-Rational Blues. Here's the meme. In order to be born, you needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second-great-grandparents, 32 third-great-grandparents, 64 fourth-great-grandparents, 128, you get the idea. You see that. For you to be born today from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years. Think for a moment about how many struggles, how many battles, how much sadness, happiness, love stories, and hope for the future that your ancestors had to undergo for you to exist in this present moment. You are the dream of many ancestors. Beautiful. I read a book about 5 years ago called Codependent No More by Melody Beattie. One of the biggest lessons that I remember from that book was giving thanks for our ancestors. Since then, I have integrated ancestral gratitude into my overall practice. When I was in South America, a medicine healer gave me 2 flutes. I asked him for instructions on how to play. He told me simply, "Give thanks for our ancestors before you blow." Now, whatever instrument I'm playing, I always try to remember all the musicians who played before me and all of our ancestors. Sometimes I feel quite certain that I am receiving visitations from great musical teachers, spirits who teach me to play. Lately, it has been Elizabeth Cotton on guitar. She has been showing me how to breathe and relax while I'm playing. Please check out her work that she does on the song Freight Train. Watch her fingers. See her relaxed countenance and the pretense-free presence in her voice. We stand today because all of the love that went before us. We love because we were loved first. What does it mean to honor our ancestors when we are trying to emerge from the culture-wide great shaming that many of us are now intentionally overcoming? How do we honor our mothers and fathers as we allow ourselves to wake up from the cultural illusion which they so often reinforced in us? I believe that we honor our ancestors when we awaken from the crushing of nature ritual. I believe that we honor all our ancestors by getting free from the tyranny into which we were born. But many of our families do not have the collective wisdom to accept, much less encourage, our healing processes. I am nearly 50 years old now, and sometimes I feel that I'm just now discovering how truly broken and lacking in wisdom our people are. We have so much healing to do, and most of us are still just doing business as usuals. It has taken many years for me to have compassion for our collective hurt. But the collective hurt still seems to hurt me. I'm not quite over it, y'all. Travelin' Trav's Trans-Rational Blues. That's what that is. I could not have imagined how deep this rabbit hole goes. I was told that if I got a career and devoted myself to the eating of steaks, butter, fancy beer, and chocolate, that I could be like the other happy Americans. But that wasn't my path, and I'm not sure that those Americans are as happy as they need us to think that they are. So then I thought I could fix it in myself by denouncing the God of my culture. Turns out that is just the beginning. I found the same hypocrisy in academia and all the ideologies that consider themselves superior to religion. These ideologies, turns out, are merely religions themselves. How much did all our white sugar plantations cost us all? The answer is, it cost us all a whole lot. Some call it epigenetic trauma. Some call it generational curses or the sins of the fathers being passed down to children. What kind of karma was created when all the European immigrants after 1492 normalized the dehumanization and genocide of the indigenous people? I believe that today we still live in that great normalization that built the U.S. largely on indigenous genocide and African slave trade. But now we know that we are not separate from any of that, and we must somehow take our responsibility for the sake of our descendants. What is it like when we realize that we are not separate from our ancestors or our descendants? Yes, I also speak to and encourage my descendants now. We are all in this dialogue now. We need to give and receive this generational help. Yes, we are all here together. Physicists tell us that time is not quite chronological like we think it is. Perhaps everything happens all at once. Whether we consider ourselves to be mystics or scientists, it seems that we are all here together, right now. in the only moment that ever was, now. All of us are here together, and I believe that giving thanks for and to our ancestors is a powerful way of connecting us to a wisdom that we all lost long ago, or many of us, it feels like we lost it. May we wake up from the great nature-crushing rituals, empire Christianity, and the great consumerism that we seem to have now chosen over true life. May we learn to commune with all who ever were. May we honor our ancestors by freeing ourselves from the bondage into which we were born.